we shouldn't do this on TV. And so I apologize if people think this is rude. That's the non-player.
Oh, stop. CeeDee Lamb is.
Let me tell you why. I'm not saying.
I'm not looking at fantasy football, Ryan. I'm not. Don't belittle me like that. I could come in and say, as 3 ex-players are saying one thing, and give an alternative perspective that maybe CeeDee Lamb did play well. And
Peter, what I need for you to do is not get mad and let me finish for one.
Okay, go on.
It wasn't about you. It was going to be about me.
Is it any wonder? Why no one at ESPN wants to work with crying Ryan Clark? Hell, if I was working at ESPN, I would not want to be associated with this doofus. I would be ashamed to work at a network that chooses to employ a man who proudly cries over fabricated racism. Earlier this year, when Disney remade Snow White, I think Ryan Clark was crying because it wasn't called Snow Black. Remember his emotional meltdown when Shedeur Sanders damn near went undrafted? This is so racist! The NFL hates the black man! According to Cryin' Ryan, a league that's over 70% black, a league that has made thousands and thousands of young black men into millionaires, is somehow prejudiced against the black man. Over the years, Ryan Clark has proven to be far more trouble than he is worth, which isn't hard because in terms of drawing ratings, Ryan Clark is worthless. But the question is, how does he manage to keep his job at ESPN? How does he continue collecting woke welfare? ESPN has fired people for significantly less. They released Sam Ponder because she didn't think bearded beauties should be allowed in the women's locker room. They released Sage Steele because she had the audacity to question why she was being mandated to participate in the Fauci ouchie. Ryan Clark seems to have a problem with anyone lacking melanin, yet somehow his constant embarrassments to ESPN continue to go unpunished. Why? You know, when you're a star, when you provide unmatched value, you're allowed to get away with things that other people just aren't allowed to get away with. When you reach a certain status, that status comes along with perks, or as Ryan Clark would call it, white privilege. Supposedly, ESPN has a mandate on politics. Supposedly, on-air talent at the worldwide leader in woke are not allowed to talk about political issues. But Stephen A. Smith, he is allowed to do it. He's allowed to do whatever the hell he wants. He can appear on Fox News. He makes appearances on News Nation, home of Chris Cuomo. Hey, it's me, Chrissy C. He can interview Ben Shapiro and talk about Israel kicking ass in the Middle East. Stephen A. Smith is allowed to benefit from this white privilege because he is arguably the most valuable personality at ESPN. Same thing with Pat McAfee. Patrick can publicly humiliate management by calling them out on their own network. He can work side jobs with WWE where he pretends to be amazed over an ordinary suplex. If you look at his ratings on television, Pat McAfee shouldn't have this kind of power because his ratings are in the pooper. Last month, he averaged around 260,000 viewers on TV. But Pat McAfee is providing value somewhere to ESPN because they allow him to do whatever the hell he wants. And look, it is definitely earned. Both Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith, they have earned their status. They've earned their privileges. Unfortunately for Ryan Clark, he has not. When you're Ryan Clark, you don't have the luxury of doing and saying whatever the hell you want. You don't have the luxury of criticizing your colleagues, then issuing an insincere apology that no one asked for. When you're Ryan Clark, your ass should have been fired years ago. But for some reason, ESPN is terrified to fire Captain Doofus. However, ESPN might not have a choice because, according to recent reports, a lot of people at ESPN, they are no longer willing to work alongside Crying Ryan. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Fuel Guys. With modern engines, most people don't realize that fuel additives aren't optional. Not something that you should be doing every once in a while. With modern engines, fuel additives should be a part of your routine to keep your engine running efficiently. For over 40 years, Fuel Guys has specialized in gasoline and diesel treatments. Their products are super concentrated, so one small bottle will last you a while. Fuel Guys treatments are engineered to handle the wide range of problems with today's engines. You don't have to take their word for it. Their website shows the real test data proving the effectiveness of their claims. Best part is, Fuel Guys treatment, it is simple to use. Every time you get gas, add 1 ounce of Fuel Guys treatment for every 10 gallons of gas that you get. The long neck on the bottle that you see here fits into every tank. It's so simple, even I can do it. There's no mesh, just complete protection for your engine. So make Fuel Guys part of your routine today by clicking the link in the description below. Use my promo code FUEL20, FUEL20. Receive 20% off your first order along with free shipping on all orders over $30. The clip that I shared with you guys at the beginning of this video, that was from last Friday morning's edition of Get Up with Mike Greenberg. Over the weekend, the clip was circulating throughout social media, and everyone, and I mean everyone, was on Peter Schrager's side. Peter Schrager was handpicked by management at ESPN to cover the NFL for the network. I made a mistake last weekend. I thought Peter Schrager came over when ESPN made their deal with the NFL, but I was wrong. Peter Schrager was hired by upper management at ESPN. He's the chosen one. To their credit, it was a great decision. I often criticize ESPN for featuring people on television that have no idea what they're talking about. Or even worse, ESPN presents a world of make-believe where someone like Mina Kimes is classified as an NFL analyst. Speaking of Mina Kimes, I want to wish a happy belated birthday to the lovely Mina. Yesterday was Mina Kimes' 40th birthday. To her credit, she looks great for her age. She really does. For the next 2 months, Mina Kimes and Uncle KC will be the exact same age. But on November 27th, Uncle KC is going to turn 41, and I have a special request for my birthday. I don't normally ask for birthday presents, but I do have a very special request this year. For my special 41st birthday, I want Mina Kimes to admit that she is not qualified to be an NFL analyst. Since her birthday was yesterday, I'll start first. I am not qualified. Uncle KC is not qualified to be an NFL analyst. Now, it's your turn, Mina Kimes. I know this is going to be extremely difficult for you to admit. I know those who live in a world of make-believe have a hard time acknowledging reality, but you do have 2 months to prepare. On November 27th, I hope you'll make Uncle KC's dreams come true and grant him this one wish for his birthday. Anyway, Peter Schrager was handpicked by upper management at ESPN to add credibility to their NFL coverage. Last Friday, Ryan Clark tried to delegitimize that decision by claiming that Peter Schrager wasn't qualified to talk about the NFL because he didn't play in the NFL. Once Ryan Clark realized that everyone was on Peter Schrager's side, he issued a public apology. Hey, lonely men, it's me, Ryan C. I've done fucked up again. I've once again displayed my disdain for the white man. Please forgive me, for I know not what I do. Your friend, Pastor Ryan Clark, LGBTQIA++, lead pastor, Woke United Methodist. As you guys know, I hate public apologies, and I damn sure hate public apologies that seem to be insincere. Ryan Clark isn't apologizing to Peter Schrager because he's remorseful. He's apologizing because he realized that everyone thinks he's an ass clown. Listen to some of the constant problems that Ryan Clark has caused at ESPN. He tried to publicly shame RG3, better known as Bob Griffin the Trace. Tried to publicly shame Bob and his wife because Bob is married to a lovely white woman. While discussing the legendary career of Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Clark referred to him as a fraud. Now, how is a first ballot Hall of Famer a fraud? I don't like Aaron. He refused to get vaccinated. Ryan Clark refused to work with Sage Steele because she was a conservative. If I remember correctly, and I could be wrong about this, but if I remember correctly, I think there were claims that Sage Steele wasn't black enough. Ironically enough, Ryan Clark is now in the same position because his colleagues at ESPN, they don't want to work with him. Ryan Clark is the classic attention seeker. He is constantly starting his own controversy. Controversy with Bob Griffin the Trace, Aaron Rodgers, Sage Steele. Guess how many times his colleagues at ESPN have come to his defense publicly? Just take a wild guess. None. Ryan Clark reminds me a lot of Don Lemon during his final days at CNN. During his final months at CNN, Donnie was constantly generating headlines in the mainstream media. He was fighting with coworkers. He was saying outlandish things on the air. Unfortunately for Donnie, the controversy didn't translate to ratings. Same thing with Ryan Clark. It would be one thing if the problems he created generated enough interest to get people to watch him on ESPN. It doesn't. No one is tuning into ESPN to listen to Captain Doofus. Matter of fact, most people want Ryan Clark to get off their TV. This dude is so hated, even the wanker spankers on Reddit are disgusted with him. So, how does he still have a job at ESPN? I think ESPN is afraid to fire him. ESPN knows if they fire Ryan Clark, he is going to publicly accuse them of mythical racism. But here's the thing. Who's going to listen? If you're accused of mythical racism and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? Who's going to believe the accusations from Ryan Clark? This dude has no credibility. Ryan Clark could be fired tomorrow, and it would have absolutely no impact on ESPN. Keeping him around has an impact because people aren't willing to work with him. They're tired of his shit. When Bobby Burack at Outkick asked ESPN employees why they were not willing to work with Ryan Clark, the reason given was he's unprofessional and he lacks impulse control. I've been telling you guys, this dude is overly emotional. There's a reason I call him Crying Ryan. There's a reason I call him the ultimate beta male. ESPN should do everyone a favor at this point and get Ryan Clark off my TV. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.